Hi again, everyone. I'm John Flick with Boeing Communications alongside our esteemed Boeing historian, Mike Lombardi. Mike, we have movement, so let's take a shot right now live of the airplane, the 737 MAX 9, on this historic day as it's going to take its first flight. And this is something else. Mike, what do you think?
Oh, this is what we do it for, right? This is a great moment when we build an airplane to see it first fly. That's what it's all about.
So again, you are looking at a live picture of the airplane here. It's taxiing out to the stall and is positioned at the south end of the runway here in Renton, Washington. We're just south of Seattle. This airplane is the newest member of the MAX family. Follows the 737 MAX 8. Now, they were doing some last-minute checks there, making sure that everything was great. You were watching our live picture before, saw a lot of people standing around in those yellow vests. They were excited employees who came out to watch this airplane. Speaking of those employees, it's got to be a proud day for them, Mike.
Yeah, it is. You know, they put their heart, they put their soul into these airplanes. They're so proud of what they do, and they are the best in the world at what they do. So they've made a beautiful airplane, and I personally want to thank them for all that they do for Boeing.
Yeah, once again, the newest member of the MAX family. As I mentioned, it follows the 737 MAX 8. It's a bit longer than the MAX 8 at a little over 138 feet or 42 meters. Carries up to 220 passengers. And one thing that's a really distinctive feature of this airplane, of the MAX, are those advanced technology winglets that really help with the efficiencies of this. Some things that are going to happen today. We have the pilot in command for this flight, Captain Christine Walsh, and she is joined by Captain Ed Wilson. The airplane is quiet. I know.
We didn't even know it had started up, and we're not. Yeah,
it certainly is. But that's part of that built-in technology. 40% smaller noise footprint than other single-aisle airplanes. And I think we're about ready to go here, but they're going to take off over Lake Washington. From there, they're going to go through a series of tests, and then a bit later today, they will land at Boeing Field in Seattle, where the Boeing Test and Evaluation Team is headquartered. And Mike, so many significant flights have taken off from this field.
There's so much history here. 1954, the Dash 80 flew from here and started it all. World War II, this was the site, the most important site in the entire arsenal of democracy. So wonderful history.
Okay, and we do know that our proud employees are watching this, and when we talk about Renton and its employees, 12,000 Boeing employees work out of Renton. Many of them do support the 737 currently, and this just blows me away. They produce 42 airplanes a month.
Amazing.
Heading to 47 a month later this year. Definitely driven by all the hard work that they do to the design and build these airplanes. 9,000 737s have been built in Renton, and these do include the classics, the next generation 737, the MAX, and again today we are seeing the future. We're seeing history and the first flight of the 737 MAX 9. You talk with folks, you talk with pilots, customers as well. Why do you think they love this airplane, the MAX and the 737?
This airplane, well, they got to love it. It's a Boeing airplane, so it's the best. They're just saying that. But 50 years now, Sunday was the 50th anniversary of the first flight of the very first 737, and this airplane has continuously improved over the last 50 years. It is the workhorse of aviation. It's the go anywhere, do anything jet, and it just really is. It's built with pride. It's built. It's just the perfect jet for whatever you need to do. So,
and as it sits there, we're really getting a great view of this airplane, those advanced technology winglets, the CFM LEAP 1B engines. It has a redesigned tail, and then, as I mentioned, the winglets there. One of the talking points here, Mike, is it's got a sophisticated onboard network system that allows for even greater sense of maintenance. So basically, that talks to the improvements for the 737's dispatch reliability, which is already the best in commercial transport.
This airplane can do things that aren't even really being used yet. I mean, looking towards the future, there are some electronics in this airplane are some of the most advanced in all of commercial aviation. So it really is a plane for the future.
All right. A few things about the 737 MAX family in general. More than 3,700 firm orders from 86 customers. The MAX is 20% more efficient than the next generation 737. I mentioned how quiet it is. The MAX 9. This has a maximum range of 3,515 nautical miles. Can carry up to 220 passengers. And when we talk about the length of this airplane, 138 feet 4 inches or 42.2 meters, that makes it 8 feet 8 inches or 2.6 meters longer than the 737 MAX 8. So once it's in service next year, 2018, if you're at the gate wondering how do I tell between the 8 and the 9, the MAX 8 and 9, this one has a mid-aft fuselage door because it's longer.
Right. Yeah. So those plane spotters have already figured this out too. What to look for. I know. Yeah.
I'm sure they have. Yeah. We do know that our employees are out watching. They're outside the 737 factory right now, anticipating this moment. They're very proud. They put a lot of work and ingenuity into designing and building this airplane.
Yeah. Everybody from the engineers that thought this plane up and to the folks who put it together, the best, absolutely the best.
Let's talk a little bit about the pilots. Captain Christine Walsh. She's a Boeing Test and Evaluation Engineering Test Pilot. She's currently the Deputy Chief Model Test Pilot for the next generation 737, 737 MAX programs. She's done a lot here at Boeing. She participated in the 787 flight test team as the lead pilot for one of the test airplanes called ZA006. That was the sixth 787 test airplane. And she was also on an around-the-world flight for engine testing on the 777-300ER program. She joined Boeing in 1989. And then with her, we have Captain Ed Wilson, responsible for engineering flight test activities related to all the Boeing 737 program models. So he's on there as well. A former fighter pilot for the U.S. Air Force and graduated from its test pilot school, and he later served as an instructor there. He joined Boeing as an F-15 test pilot in 1996, so a lot of experience for these two pilots. And maybe take us through a little bit what they'll be doing today, and then how this lays it out for the future.
One of the things that I always like to talk about with our test pilots is that a lot of people have this impression of these barnstormers, the right stuff type of test pilots are going to take the planes up, do a few barrel rolls and that sort of thing, but it's not like that at all. These are not only some of the best pilots in the world, but they're all scientists. This is a very scientific process that they go through and very disciplined. And so that's what you're going to see here. So they're going to take the plane up, they'll go through a few tests, but they go through a very disciplined process that they look at every aspect of this airplane to make sure that it is absolutely safe when it goes into service.
Yeah, and going a little bit through what will happen today, our pilots are gonna take off north over Lake Washington, where they will go through a series of tests, as you were talking about, Mike. Each of our flight test airplanes are outfitted with sensors and monitoring devices that they gather data from the flight. And then a bit later today, they are going to land at Boeing Field in Seattle, where the Boeing Test and Evaluation Team is headquartered. We talked about the history here.
Yeah.
There have been some other very significant, you mentioned some, but significant and historic flights that have taken off from here.
So you talked about there's about, what, 9,500 or so 737s have flown here, but there's been 7,000 other airplanes. So probably more airplanes built here than anywhere else, but we can go back to World War II. The B-29 flew from here. All of commercial jet aviation, this is its birthplace, with the Dash 80. The 707 flew from here, the 27, the 757. So this place just has a tremendous amount of history.
And we're coming on an anniversary, not just for Boeing, but here as well.
Right. This is 75 years this month of Renton. So it's incredible. This was one of the most important places during World War II for the arsenal of democracy. And I think
let's listen.
Here we go.
Let's watch it go.
All right. There she goes. All right. beautiful, beautiful.
Takes your breath away.
I got to
Something
tell
else.
you, if you don't have a tear in your eye right now, you got no business being here. This is it. It's just beautiful.
Well,
it's beautiful.
There was the first flight of the 737 MAX 9. There's the chase airplane that follows. We have Boeing photographers on there who are going to capture some great images. Set to deliver in 2018, the 737 MAX 9 is a big congratulations to the men and women who worked to design and build this airplane. And this is another milestone that is ahead of schedule for the 737 MAX program.
What a great day.
As we watch it fly away there, we are going to wrap up and our live stream now for the day, but we're going to come back with great images and information that you can see throughout the day on Boeing.com and on our Boeing social media channels. So we invite everyone out there to join the conversation at hashtag 737MAX. Again, that is 737MAX. Hashtag 737MAX. A big thanks to everyone out there. Again, thanks to you, Mike Lombardi, for joining us.
Great work. Yeah.
And thanks
most of all, thanks to all the employees that made this happen.
Yeah.
That's the magic, and you're the magicians. Great job.
I appreciate you joining us for this first flight of the 737 MAX 9.